far as the trucking environment, we got a lot of issues there as well, but that's all interrelated. Folks, I'm just trying to keep people employed, and we're doing the best I can, but we can't have these people doing to us what they are because it's man-made. We got to get our message out. We got to get the right people in Congress.
Well, it's just a privilege and an honor to be up here speaking with these men and what they do and what they endure. And I hope you take the message out there to all of, if you live in the Bay Area, if you live anywhere on the coast. This is not, I mean, we'll have questions and answers after the speakers are done. But one of the things I want you to get and be really, really, really grounded in is that this is not a drought. It is not. I mean, and we'll ask them, what is the actual shortfall of water? What has it been? Nothing compared to the 5% water allocation that they've been getting. And what you heard, you need to hear more of. These men, these families are paying for water that they're not getting. You think you're getting ripped off by the government? These people, it's criminal what they're doing. It's absolutely criminal. Our next speaker, it's just been a pleasure working with him. He's been on my radio program many times. He's worked tirelessly. He came all the way out. I can't tell you enough. I mean, they all do. They all do an incredible amount of work. And Russell Waymeyer is no exception. He's co-chaired his local Farm Bureau Water Committee and has attended numerous water meetings with politicians and natural resource agencies in California and Washington, D.C. And in 2009, he was appointed Agriculturalist of the Year for Kings County. He's become an expert on water. He can tell you what the situation is with the Delta, what the situation is with all the threats to the smelt, and thank you. He's been a tremendous help in helping to put this panel together. So please welcome Russ Waymeyer.
I gotta thank everybody that's here and remains standing because for me, this is the first time I've ever been to a political convention ever. I've had to learn a lot of different skills over the last few years that I never dreamed that I would have to do. But if you continue to work hard as I used to do, I never was involved politically, people will rob you blind and steal your assets and bankrupt us in this state and nation. And I'm proud to be up here with this band of brothers and sisters that has heard our call, and we've limited resources, and we appreciate the opportunity for you to hear what our story is. Briefly, my background, I used to farm. We used to farm close to 1,000 acres. I'm a first-generation farmer family. I was a poster boy for someone who gained the opportunity by working for people. I did a large custom farming operation. I used to have about 30 full-time employees for us. We did harvesting. People recognized our abilities to get the job done, hired us, and then when one of the family members retired and the heirs decided to sell, we were able to buy some of the property. It was quite an opportunity. But in 1992, Congress passed a law, CVP reform, that took half our waterway, eroded our equity, and within 2 weeks, the bank called, required more equity. I said, well, what's that? And they said, well, either more cash or all your equipment. It's collateral. So anyway, that's what, eventually as things moved on, we could no longer afford to compete, to stay in farming and risk losing our home and a livelihood for my family. My 2 sons don't work for me. They've worked elsewhere. We no longer have our farm. I had to learn how to sell it. Number one, I have to be a businessman first. My family's got to eat. These people have got to eat. Pidada Yela, he can relay to you what's happening in the valley. The valley used to attract and still can large, enormous funds of capital to grow this economy in this valley. I took a job in the pistachio industry. It still attracts about $150 million worth of investment every year. I work with growers in real estate to find property where they might have a better chance for long-term water. And folks, if they can't find it here, they're going to find it somewhere else. We're going to lose the capital in these industries. Anyway, enough on that. Unbeknownst to me, Back in 1992, when they started taking our water away, we were very conciliatory. They said, you know, there's a water quality problem issue in the Delta, the fish are dying, and we need some of your fresh water to solve that. So they took half of it with no compensation. The price of my land went down, had to sell out as many others. I lost about 60% of my clients. Our custom farm operation, due to the overhead, would collapse, so we elected to sell out and change gears. Right now, today, we have one tractor and one quad, and I do all the work myself and miss my kids, because when you're the only chief or Indian out there, it's a lot to get done. When they came back to start taking more water from the valley, friends of mine called me up and asked me to get back involved, because I had been involved before. Why are they back taking more water? This water they took was supposed to solve the problem. Well, now we've had to take and put another hat on. We had to go learn what was going wrong in the Delta, because it came to a head in 2007. We had floods in California in 2006. The Delta was completely flushed out. We had reservoirs full of water. We had ample flows carrying over into 2007. Yet there was a large fish kill near Stockton, and they went to the courts. Environmentalists filed suit, blaming the pumps 60 miles away, shut them down. And water that was scheduled to be delivered to people like Paul Sahota and my other friends and neighbors, they didn't get it. They had to pay for it and didn't get it. They had copies that they had contracted. Folks, if you're going to be a businessman, the year before you got a contract, when there's a price point that you can make a margin of profit, you need to contract and sell it so you'll be in business next year. They did that. They didn't get the water. When you can't deliver the crop, you got to pay the spread. You got to cash up. It's not only just you lost the water, you got to go pay more for water and try and survive and still cover your contract. When that occurred, we went to find out what's going wrong in the Delta. They're back again, taking water. What happened in Stockton, unbeknownst to us, we now have to become experts on sewage. Are you aware that there are 13 cities around the Delta that discharge close to 380 million gallons of partially treated sewage into the Delta water system every day? You're like us. We're not aware of that. Since 1985, they've tripled the volume of sewage that they've discharged in the Delta. As these communities grow, annually they're discharging close to 3% more a year. Conversely, at the same time, upstream of the Delta, they're diverting more and more freshwater flows that rob the Delta of precious freshwater flows that should be going in there. If it's about a 2-to-1 ratio, if they divert 1 million gallons upstream for fresh inflow, they dump another 500,000 gallons of sewage water in the Delta. No wonder the water quality is deteriorating. How is it that we can impact the water quality in Delta when we're 60 miles downstream and the Delta is a plain, it slopes? They got water quality problems uphill. Okay. Now, where Stockton discharged their sewage water in 2007, when the migrating salmon swam through there, and ammonia plume, they call it a dead zone, they suffocate and die. As does all the other species, Delta smelt, the sturgeon, anything that habitat's in there. Even the striped bass have a difficult time. That's why they've been on a continuing stocking basis of introduced species like that in the Delta.